Hello, good morning, welcome to the Ask Your Christian podcast. I'm your host, Nate. All right. Hope everyone is having a good day today. Dude, 6-7, I don't understand. I don't understand the 6-7 thing. Does anyone else know what I'm talking about? If not, I guess bad for you because you don't know what I'm talking about. If so, I guess you're just like me because no one knows what this is. So it's a wonder kids can even speak anymore. It's like 6-7, 6-7. It's like I still don't get it. Someone tried to explain it to me again yesterday. It's just nonsense people make up. So if you're like, hey Nate, how are you doing today? I'm like, potato, ha ha. Then it's like, oh, it's a new internet sensation. It's called potato. When someone asks how you are, you just scream potato, ha! And that's a new meme. Is that how that works? Oh, I have to bring you up. Assuming that's how that works, is that right? Can I be a Gen Z? Can I wait? No, Gen Alpha. Can I be Gen Alpha?
I'm gonna say, first of all, it's Gen Alpha. And your potato's not funny.
Potato. Okay. I don't want to be funny. If that's what I got to do, I don't want to be funny. Hey, I think I've been living my life is like the Truman Show. You remember that movie?
Uh-huh.
Everything I've been told is a lie. Except God stuff. That stuff's true. But we're going to set that aside to talk about French cuisine.
Oh, okay.
So, by everything, I guess I mean French cuisine or fine dining. Oh, Steph, glad you're here. Okay, so
Jeez.
This is my fine dining experience.
Well, wait, did you have rabbit when you went for French?
Hold on. I had what I was told was the most authentic French cuisine. I can't pronounce it, but I'll try. Basically, the setup to... No. Okay, my wife's like, hey, let's go out Saturday, whenever it was. Saturday. Friday? Love you, honey. I didn't forget. I'm just bad at...
Bro, it doesn't matter.
Okay. So we go out. She's like, hey, there's this new French restaurant. It's called like La Gave. I'm like, oh, sounds lovely. She's like, what do you think you order? I'm like, French fries. She's like, do not do that. So we got there, and sure enough, French fries were on the menu. Anyways, she's like, no. They're not even French, right? Like, isn't that an American abomination invention? Anyways, fact check me. Okay, hey Toast, if you have a question about God, let us know. We'll get to you in just a second. Okay, so anyways, we go to this place, and when I walked in, we were a little suspicious. So the hostess was trying to have it sounded like, I don't know if she was going for a French accent or just some sort of vague, not English accent. And she's like, well, do you have a reservation? And my wife, because, she's the one that wanted to go, so she took the charge of finding the address, the place, all this. She's like, oh, no, I didn't know we needed to. I'm like, I would have figured that out and made a reservation. In my head. Except I would never say that except here. Anyways, but...
And for the entire internet to hear.
Yes, except for that. Love you, honey. So, anyways, she's like, well, normally we need a reservation, but I think we may have a spot for you. Are you picky? I'm like, no, I'm not picky. Hey, sir, just give us a second. What's up? All right, no, we're not picky. So they find us a seat. They're like, okay, blah, blah, blah. So we sat down, and then people are the waitress comes over, and she puts on a French accent. Maybe it was legit, but we just got this kind of odd feeling. I'm like, I don't know, man. You don't think of South Florida when you think of I don't know, French people for some reason. It's usually like something else. So it's just a little something about it. We couldn't quite put our finger on. Anyways, I'm like, you know what? She's probably just from New York, who's just came here and just tries to style her hair in whatever way she thinks is vaguely French and puts on an accent. I'm like, you could probably find her on her break, outside smoking, like in her New York accent. And she's like, oh, time to go back on work. Oh, would you like this? Anyway, okay, so the point is, I'm looking through the menu, and there's the thing I ended up getting was braised rib boualalanatine or something like that. So I'm like,
you got braised short ribs.
Great. Do you know what that is? In American speak, it's freaking pot roast. So, okay.
What?
So,
no.
Yes. Yeah, no. Oh, stop. You stop. You listen. So, I get this thing, and I verify with ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, Chat, I'm at this French place. I don't really know anything about French food except creme brulee because, I like desserts. But what is the most authentic French thing here? And it's like, get that. It's the most quintessential French blah, blah, blah food you can get. I'm like, wonderful. I'll get that. And anyway, so they bring it out. I'm like, oh, looks good. What is this? Oh, it's very tender. Wow, it's falling apart. I took one bite. I'm like, I just got transported back to my entire childhood in rural Oklahoma at my grandmother's kitchen table when she made Sunday pot roast. I'm like, this is 100% the pot roast my grandma used to make. So either she is a Michelin star, excellent French chef, or America. I mean, it makes sense after I thought about it more, because I'm like, well, most of, settlers from America were from Europe, so it makes sense we would take their food and, kind of put our little American spin on it, which is not that much of a spin. So I can say there was like some mushrooms, some sauteed mushroom, maybe the sauce was like a little bit different, but 95%, it was my grandma's pot roast that she got and made from probably like $5 from Walmart ingredients, when we paid like 10x that. Well, maybe not, but a lot more. And then it made me think more to when we went to this fine dining German place, which I don't know if fine dining German anyways, but it's like every time there's like a schnitzel, witzel, what's. I'm like, oh, this is not unique at all. This is pork chops. Something else I grew up having like 3 days of the week. I'm like, this is pork chops. So anyways, that's my experience. I think I've been living a lie, and because of this experience, basically I've been growing up my whole life in rural Oklahoma, eating what is considered fine dining, unique, the upper echelons of European food at my grandma's pig farm. So I think my whole lie has been a lie, and French people may not even really exist. Steph, what do you think about that?
Sounds like you grew up with some good cooks.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Was it Boeuf Bourguignon?
It was like, let's see if I can find the chat history.
Find the chat history. I'm
It was
very
like
curious as to what this dish
B-O-U.
is.
I mean, braised short ribs is like the English title or whatever.
Okay, so Bouef is just French for beef.
What? No, not that. It was a long word.
Was it Bourguignon?
I don't know. Hold on. Let's see.
As Nate checks his chat history, the Jeopardy music cues up.
So it is trying to say the word you're saying, but that is not the word on the menu. It misunderstood me too.
What was the word on the menu? Can you spell it?
I'm trying. It's
or maybe paste it in chat for the rest of us.
I don't remember it. I'm getting spell check from Chat GPT here. Hold on. How's your morning, Steph? While we wait.
Hanging in there, working on getting the kids to school. I have a 5-minute break.
Is ballotine. It seems like there was more syllables in this on the menu. Ballotine.
Beef ballotine?
No, that's also wrong. It says like stuffed rolled meat or something. That's not what this was either. Okay, we're done. French people don't exist. I've only read about it in books and seen it on movies. It's not real. Okay. All right, what else is going on?
I mean, I like cooking French food. It's just a lot of technique to it.
Oh, do you make like pot roast? Then you're a French cook.
So, no, I make a beef stew called beef bourguignon. It's just basically beef with wine, and you make mushrooms and onions with it.
Quick correction from last week. I kept saying WorldVision when we've checked this out was not that bad. I meant Compassion International. Yeah, WorldVision. Yeah.
WorldVision has been a dumpster fire for a really long time.
Yes. So take back all of my endorsement of WorldVision. Yeah, I was totally talking about Compassion International. Every time we've came across that, it seems that the verdict has always been like pretty solid in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, we've done Compassion for years and years and years and years.
Yeah. I mean, I
we picked Compassion because 100% of the money goes to the community, and WorldVision has a lot of money that stays with like the management, which is fine. But Compassion is actually run by the local Like we have 2 kids in the Philippines, we have one in Africa and 2 in South America, and all of them, like the community leaders, get the checks, and those are the people like running the church and speaking the language. So anyway, that's why we picked compassion.
Yes, that is what I meant. And in Colorado, I lived right down the road. Like the one of the main executives from Compassion, because they're based in Colorado, was like three or four, 3 houses down from where I lived. Anyway,
Wait, what's wrong with WorldVision though?
They're a woke mess.
see last week's episode. This is
Oh,
one of the
okay.
times where you're like, I'm totally here, I'm totally paying attention, and obviously you were not.
Hashtag sorry.
Wait, wellness check. Are you better? Chris is 67% better. 67 better.
Ugh.
You're not.
I don't know. I don't know what I did to my back, but no, it is not really getting better.
Is that all?
It's
There's no.
weird. Like I was okay yesterday. Like I played with the kids. I brushed the dogs. We hung out. We watched football. I was having a normal day walking around. And then in the evening, I hunched over to like draw. I draw at night sometimes, and I was drawing in my book. And then when I straightened up again, it was like the whole injury just reoccurred. So I don't know if it's just from like, did I hurt myself this bad from just hunching over at a desk? I don't know.
So is today the day, Chris? We should have our is Halloween okay for Christians to celebrate, or are we not? Is the time not close up on us, or do we need to wait until a Hebrew Israelite comes in here and asks us this question, or is there never a wrong time to have this discussion?
There's never a wrong time to talk about Reformation Day. It was a great day.
Okay, well let's check in with Sean real fast, then maybe we'll do that. Hey, Sean, what's up? How are you doing?
How are you feeling,
Hey,
Sean?
I'm feeling better. The swelling in my legs have gone down considerably. So they
Oh,
drained
good.
Good to
a
hear.
lot of fluid off of me. They're gonna give me some kind of they to help me expand my breathing.
How's your lawyer doing? He's probably doing pretty good.
Well, I'll be seeing him. I don't know. I won't be seeing him till probably next week sometime.
Yeah, definitely going to be seeing him.
Are you really gonna go after them?
Uh,
Bro, they took him off in medication that then put him in the hospital with life-threatening symptoms.
Right.
Well, let's not talk about that here because I don't want to be summoned for a deposition for anything that was said here. So let's just move on.
What was said
no,
so
hold
far
it now.
makes
Wait,
sense
wait,
to
wait.
me.
Wait, 1 second, y'all. Yeah, I was about to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. Why Christians should not celebrate Halloween.
Well, great. Let me give
Yeah.
an overview of the topic, and then we will get this on record. Okay. It is the time of year again. In what day is it? 20 whatever? How long do we have? We have 11 days. All right. So in 11 days, when you look at the full moon and see someone riding on a broom and you're like, Steph? Okay, that's the only witch joke. I'm done. Totally kidding. Okay. She's not a witch. Not a witch. Tell us about the book you bought for your kids.
The wizard, the wonderful wizard.
Okay, so it's the time of year again where we
She does
usually
weigh
wait
as
for
much as a duck.
some person who's like, you got to keep the law. We don't keep the law, but you got to keep the law to come here and tell us how Christians can't celebrate Halloween. And then as a Christian, if you're like, wait, when someone says, can Christians celebrate Halloween? What do you mean by that? So it's more like what if you're like celebrate All Hallows Eve and like the dead souls and like, naked witches dancing in the woods, sacrificing babies to Satan? What? No one should quote celebrate Halloween if that's what you mean. By celebrate Halloween, do you mean Christians can just like, funny superhero characters and cartoons and stuff like that and go to churches and participate in harvest fests, which some will say is the church totally capitulating to the world. Others would say it's a good thing because they take people out of the otherwise bad influences of the Halloween spirit and they put them in a church atmosphere and they co-opt it and say, great, now you dress like your favorite Bible character. Now we're going to tell all you little rats about Jesus and his ability to save. So you can argue that way. So there's different rabbit trails we can go down, but that's the gist of it. So essentially, the main theme of this is, can Christians wear some costumes and go get some candy? Personally, I think, sure, Romans 14, my conviction is, yes, it's fine. If they're like, Daddy, I went and got a book about sorcery and spells, and I did my first incantation to dead spirits, I'm like, oh, we're going to have a talk. However, in my lived experience, my entire life, and everyone I've ever heard of in my life, no such thing has ever happened. So, if you feel like, well, the Bible doesn't directly say anything about getting candy and dressing up in costumes, but I feel in my conscience this is wrong, then if you do it, for you it is a sin. Not that eating candy is wrong, but you're violating your own conscience led by, supposedly as a Christian, the Holy Spirit. So that is the general theme. That being said, Chris is going to give us a Reformation spin. Sean, you came up here just for this. So what is your, it sounds like, reason why Christians should not do any of this?
Well, I'm gonna go with your passage, Romans 14. I am convicted in my spirit that it's wrong, seeing the history of where it comes from. We understand that over in Ireland, that the Druids, and over in Scotland as well, the Druids they practiced Druidism, and what they did was they would make a turnip, not a pumpkin, into what we call the jack-o'-lantern today. And they would sacrifice children and things of such when the head druid would come out. So it's not just women dancing naked in the forest. It's what they're doing in grottos, which is satanic places of Satanism, and all these other things that they do on this so-called All Hallows Eve, when the history shows that it did not come from anything sacred or anything either Judeo or Christian. That's why I do not celebrate, because I know the history of it. I teach my children and grandchildren as well. They don't celebrate it either. Thank you.
All right. And then it gets that's the thing to point out. There's a lot of different ways to go. Like where we're going to go next is, well, now as far as like when Christians came to Ireland, they co-opted they co-opted it because like All Saints Day is the next day. So they kind of merged it, and they're like, oh, well, here's your bad night, but here's your good day. So we're going to consider this the same. So it muddies the waters further. And then you've got Reformation Day. Chris.
Well, okay. So the American appellation of Halloween is more of a civic holiday. There were no religious connotations to it. Like, it really kicked into high gear with kids and costumes and candy and trick-or-treating and stuff like that in the 40s and 50s. Like, it's just an American civic holiday. Now, is there a move amongst a lot of scallywag pagans to try to move it back to Samhain, which is what Sean is referencing? Sure, but to me, like when my kid went around, going door to door begging for candy, dressed as MC Bat Commander from the Aquabats, like it's just an American civic holiday. It's just getting to know your neighbors, just going around and chatting with people. So, there's that aspect of it. And so I think that little kids that participate in their neighborhood, Halloween celebrations, it's more of an American civic holiday than anything else. Yes, Nate?
Oh, I think it was Steph who unmuted, but I would say it's what is the intent, right? If I am dressing up, which I'm too old for that, if my kids dress up and they're like, Daddy, we're dressing up in honor of the dead spirits and the thinning of the veil between life and death, and we're dressing in costumes, funny as they may be, to scare away and confuse the evil spirits. Is that cool? I'm like, oh no, that's not cool at all. Let's have a talk about Jesus. But I guarantee no one you run into on Halloween. You know what? Let's test this. Anyone listening to this, if you can work it into a conversation, be like, hey guys, do you know where Halloween comes from? Like, what's the thing? Like, let's see how many people come with Sean's understanding.
Oh boy.
I mean, not Steph. She's excluded.
Yeah, okay. I'll just exclude me from that.
Steph, you ask anyone if they don't know. But everyone else, who's normal, the rest of America, ask that. Maybe 1 out of 20 would have something kind of, like, some of them will probably be like, it had something to do with, like, I don't know, spirits or festivals or harvest moons. Like, maybe some of them will say that to be like, it's the thinning of the veil and the chasing away the evil spirits and all this other stuff. Probably not a lot. Okay, so if your kid is like, Daddy, I chased away the evil spirits in my costume, that's bad. If they're like, Daddy, look how much candy I got, I'm like, oh, great. Look how much candy I'm going to steal and eat. Stealing's bad. Don't. Anyways, that's the idea. It's kind of like the Christmas tree, right?
You just told on yourself, Nate.
Well, it's like the Christmas tree. If someone is bringing in a Christmas tree and they're decorating tinsel, just like Jeremiah 10 says, and then they bow down to it and worship it, you're in idolatry, and that is wrong. Do not do that. If someone's like, guys, look at these pretty lights I got at Walmart, and you throw them around the tree, it's like, oh, that looks cool. Okay, now let's praise Jesus. Wonderful. You are not worshiping a tree. We'll get to that in a couple months.
Well, also, so Sean, also one thing to look into is that Druids were not Irish. Druids were Welsh. They were an entire island away. They would have had no contact with the Irish. And so there wasn't human sacrifice going on in the Irish Isles to Samhain or anything like that. That's just, there's a lot of really bad information out there historically, and I would just encourage people to look it up for themselves.
Toast, what's up? Your PTR is hilarious.
Wait,
sorry, Steph. Yes.
Oh, we lost him.
Wait, who?
Toast left.
Toast? Bro, it took me 2 seconds. All right, Steph, you shared this link that means
the app is being weird, so he might have got booted. It's been weird all weekend.
So you're going to your shamanic festival? Is that the link you're posting?
Oh no, Samhain is a whole holiday here. This is a whole entire thing people celebrate. There's bonfires, there's music, there's tarot cards, there's witchcraft, there's the whole thing. There's just one that I found that I put in the chat. What?
He said Bethel Church is where you live?
Bethel Church. Har har har.
Tarot cards. I did a Chris.
Oh,
so here, if you are just taking your kids trick-or-treating, you are doing the Christian thing.
Yeah.
The alternative. Now, all that said, I live in a ridiculous place, okay? But this is like witch season. They're all very excited about this and the Samhain festivals. So, what
How do you
we
pronounce
do?
it? I always heard it called
Samhain.
Samhain.
Well, that's
just
the
the
English.
worst
Oh, I would have
American.
never.
English
Wow,
is
I never in a
actually
million
the
years
Irish
would have
word
thought you were
Samhain.
talking about this. You're
Yeah,
like
sorry,
Samhain.
this
I'm like, is this a?
pronounced Samhain.
Yeah, I get Steph because Irish, but Chris is like Samhain. I'm like, who is this? Is this like a chief druid? Like, I never would have known you were talking about this, Chris.
How
Okay,
do
carry
you
on.
actually say it?
Sow, like Sow-in, like Sowin, like a pig, like a sow, and then is going inside. Sowin.
Huh.
Run it together.
I mean, I'm
Go ahead,
half
Steph.
Irish too, but I never knew that.
Not anymore.
I guess
Irish, like the BV is a SH, the MH is a WA, like, the whole.
I know. Our Celtic roots are terrible.
The Irish language
Please
is
continue.
amazing. Okay, yes, so we have a lot of Samhain festivals here that are promoted by the municipality, promoted by different. This one that I posted, I actually don't live in this place, so I didn't dox myself, but this is an area I cover for work. But this is a good example of how they're just going to take over an entire street and do witch stuff. So yeah, this is so meanwhile, me and my family dress up like characters from Bluey or Roblox and go chat with our neighbors and get candy and come home and eat it, which is great. But I may have to make a Jesus-y excuse this year because poor Peter is getting a crown that morning, so he cannot have any Halloween candy.
Oh. Ooh.
Very sad.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I totally agree with like, okay,
Alright.
my
I'll be
neighbors
right
do
back.
like
I got
my neighbors do a Samhain bonfire and they invite us every year because they're very sweet and they're not religious. They just do this because they think it's fun or whatever. They're not witches. Anyway, every year we're like, thank you, but no thank you. We will We will not be doing the
Thanks. We're not
Samhain.
going to be
And that's too bad, right? Because if
throwing the
someone's
children into the fire.
yeah, because if
Right.
someone's like, "Hey, we're having a good bonfire," like in Colorado, I love a good bonfire, but then it's like you gotta make it weird with some sort of like, "Hey guys, it's a Samhain fire." It's like, ooh, even though you may not be religious, that's still a little too religious-y for me to feel good at. Like, just call it a bonfire and leave it there, and then we'll come make some s'mores or something, and then we can, you know, have our Christian cake and eat it too.
You know, we had something called Hallelujah Night. Now, Hallelujah Night, you got your donuts and cider. You hot apple cider, y'all. Y'all act like y'all forgot about how that tastes. And you got your candy for the children. Because generally, well, in Detroit, it's cold. But I do remember as a boy going from neighbor to neighbor because everybody knew each other compared to today where you hardly know who your neighbor, even if they live next door, you don't know them. And you got your candy corn, and I feel bad for your son, Steph.
Candy corn is the worst possible of all the candies. It is disgusting.
Candy corn
But you
is
also got
amazing.
your
Or
little
Weathers
Snickers.
Originals.
Well, then you also got your Snickers. You got your Butterfinger, your Baby Ruths, and all that other good stuff. And so when
My
I
kid's
came
allergic to
home,
peanuts.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You're getting shot down on all your candy.
Okay, before we name all the candies and make me hungry, what are you trying to say? You do a Hallelujah Night. What about people who say Hallelujah Nights are bad, and they would say, no, Sean, you're not going far enough. You can't do anything on that day, because anything you do from a church perspective at all, unless it's straight up Jesus sermon, it's to blending arms to the world.
I know that. I know that.
No, I'm saying, what do you say to those people?
What I say to them people, I say, look, you gotta let the children be children. Now, I don't believe in dressing up like no witch, warlock, or nothing like a skeleton or something like that. The red skeleton, anything like that. But I will say, if you dressed up like Superman, or if you was like me when I couldn't afford it, Mama threw a towel around your neck, tied that around you, and you got a little Spider-Man mask or something like that, and you went around up and down, there was no problem.
How many times have you dressed up as a Bible character, Sean? For Hallelujah Nights, not Christmas plays.
I've never done it.
You could be Samson after the haircut.
Oh wow!
I,
I don't even know how to
I've
say
never
that.
done it, but I did have to teach the children about the truth about Halloween as well, though.
Michael, will you be dressing as your favorite orc, goblin, or barbarian?
No, I don't do that. But it looks like your dear leader's getting a start early and dressing up like an Air Force pilot.
You can't let us finish the conversation on Halloween. Come on, Michael. Come on.
You're embarrassed, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
We have no idea what you're talking
Is he
about.
wearing like a Joe Biden like Air Force bomber jacket and like some Air Force Ones?
No, it's a video that he posted to his social media where he's flying in a jet, wearing a
Oh,
crown.
like AI. I saw a picture of that. I think.
Yeah.
No, we think it's awesome. We're
Oh,
not
okay. Well,
embarrassed
okay.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, are we done with
That
Halloween?
tracks.
Okay. Let me put a point on this. Okay. So Halloween. There you go. That's the full gambit. Started as like a pagan festival long ago. Immigrants from Ireland brought it here in the 1800s, and that's how anyone knows about it. Guarantee, unless you're in Steph's town, no one is going to know the full origin that Sean gave in the beginning. If they do, I guess tell them about Jesus anyway. If you dress as like Satan or slutty hooker cop, probably don't do that. If you're like, I'm a Christian, I want to be Spider-Man and go get some candy, That is my conviction. It's fine. If you have a conviction that says you shouldn't do even that, well, then don't do it, because I'm not your boss. God is. If you want to go to a harvest night at church or something like that, or trunk or treat at your kid's school, the Bible does not forbid it, is the point. So read Romans 14. It'll take you like 3 minutes or less. Read Romans 14. So if you're a Christian, you're like, yes, I trust Jesus by faith alone. I am a Christian. I want to please God. Great. Romans 14 is for you regarding pretty much everything that the Bible doesn't explicitly speak on. This would be one such thing. And then if some self-righteous person starts talking about witchcraft and divination, be like, oh, wow, that's a good verse. If you're doing witchcraft and divination. If you're like, nah, bro, I want some Snickers. If you can make the case that that is witchcraft and divination, then that verse applies. Most people in good conscience will not be like, me dressing as Spider-Man to get some candy. No, the witchcraft and divination verses do not apply here. I'm very certain. So what does my conscience led by the Holy Spirit say? Go get some candy? The worst part about that is you're getting candy and rotting your teeth. That's the worst thing about that. Anyways, if the Holy Spirit says no, don't do it. Chris, did you have a final? Wait, do the Reformation thing first. Yeah, do that, and then we'll go back to Michael's
Of
No
course,
Kings thing.
October 31st is not most famous for the All Hallows Eve festivals.
Here is another option. Yes.
What is really famous about October 31st is this is the day in 1517 when Martin Luther tacked the 95 Theses to the door at the church at Wittenberg, and thus began the events of the Protestant Reformation.
This is you know what? This is the one day all non-Calvinists can be Calvinist for a day.
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
fully-
dress
No,
up like
wrong
one of those.
Reformation. Hold on. No.
I'm trying-
Calvinists don't get to claim Luther's Reformation.
Sure we do.
I'm trying to throw
read
them a
the
bone.
Bondage of the Will.
Hang on. I'm just trying to throw these guys a bone. Okay, so the point is, because they claim this so ardently, this is the one night when we can be like, you know what? We will let the pagans have their festival. We will honor Reformation Day, which is not really a Protestant thing. We're like, yeah, we have a Bible. We just have always done what it says. But for those Calvinist friends who really cling to this holiday, we'll be like, you know what? We will all be Luther for a night. And then when some Christian's like, witchcraft and divination, be like, I'm not participating in All Hallows Eve. I'm participating in Reformation Day. So you can get your Calvin masks and Luther robes, and anyways, go ahead, Steph.
Listen, Sparky, you wouldn't have a Bible if it weren't for the Reformation. So,
But the Catholics,
Yeah, which you don't get to just,
just wanted to make Chris
push at
scream.
all. By your
We-
definition, the Church of England is Calvinist. Like, that's crazy. You're just crazy. That's crazy.
great. So anyway,
give us a quick
so-
history.
yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
two
do.
Reformations happened. There was Calvin's, there's Luther's. There were
What
many
are you
others.
talking about?
Okay,
It's the same
Luther's
Reformation.
Reformation had absolutely nothing to do with Calvinism. Nothing. Calvinism was a
Calvinism
response
is just a
to
doctrine.
Luther's.
What do you
Steph,
like?
Calvinism is basically
All
Catholic.
right, y'all got it.
Yeah. So like, it's just a
Jesus taught
doctrine.
Calvinism. Yeah.
Yes, this is true. So I'm glad you finally figured that out. So at any rate,
I don't think Steph heard what I said.
I don't know, but I
I'm
think
telling
she's
them
just-
Calvinists can have this because they're basically Catholics.
Right,
Okay, but Nate,
yeah,
hold on.
So like,
The implication you're
that's-
making is that when Luther tacked the 95 Theses to the door, it had something to do with Calvinism. That's what I'm
no, it just
bucking
had
against.
to
It had
do with the
nothing to do with Calvinism.
Reformation, and we get Reformed theology from the Reformation.
I'm sorry, Chris. I tried, but you
From
cannot have this
Calvin's
day. I tried,
Yeah.
but it's
At any
not
rate,
gonna
no, we
happen.
don't get it from Calvin. We get it from Jesus. But like, the main thing is that we get all these kids that dress up as Martin Luther's wife if they're little girls, and they wear little bonnets, and it's super adorable. And so my house is filled with little Asian kids running around doing, instead of pin the tail on the donkey, they tack the 95
Pin the
Theses to the door.
That was
Like-
awesome.
Yeah, it's delightful. It's absolutely delightful. And and so my sister-in-law makes these little scrolls, and the kids write on the scrolls, and they put their grievances down, and Yeah, it's
Not
just
the
great.
grievances.
What are their
The
grievances?
you know, like, well, I don't know. I mean, these are like really little kids. They're just kind of scribbling. So, like, you know, I mean, they
Like
were. I
mommy and
mean,
daddy are
like,
making me appropriate white culture? Grievances
yeah,
like that?
like it's just great. So, you know, they're older now, so I'm not sure anybody's going to dress up. JC used to dress up as the Pope and wear a big old Pope hat, and then they would all hit him with pillows. It's great. So.
All right. Well, there's Reformation Day. So if you want an out, and also have your cake and you know, eat it too, then
And we
someone's
have
like,
lots
Christians
of
can't
fine
celebrate
German
Halloween. You're
beer.
like, we're not. We're celebrating Reformation Day.
That is Reformation Day, and we have fine German beer for the grown-ups, and I make Sauerbraten.
Which is like a hot dog, right?
No, it is you would love it, Nate. It is a German pot
I'm sure
roast.
I ate it growing up.
It's a German pot roast. It's just,
Okay.
it's what you do is you take a pot roast, right? You take like I'm going to do a 6-pound pot roast, if I could find such a thing. And I am going to soak it in wine and red wine vinegar for 3 days to marinate it. And you just keep turning it over in this concoction of red wine and red wine vinegar and all these vegetables and spices.
Well, now I'm hungry.
And you just keep marinating that sucker for 3 days. And then you cook it like a regular pot roast, and the gravy is amazing. And then you cook it with some dumplings. You make those bread dumplings, and they're very dense and delicious. And then you put the gravy over the bread dumplings with the red cabbage. It's really good.
This is unique German cuisine, and if anyone wants it, go to any diner in Oklahoma. Because it's the exact same thing.
Bro, there is no one in Oklahoma making Sauerbraten.
You would think that they won't call it that. They'll be like, hey, check out this pot roast. And you'll be like, oh, this reminds me vaguely of this. I mean, maybe a little sauce difference or
Does
whatever.
the sauce come out purple?
Okay. So maybe I'll give you an edge there. You can beat out the French people by a slight margin. Okay, so there you go. Christians, feel free to celebrate Halloween if Romans 14 allows your conscience to. If it doesn't, then don't. Let's see. We'll get back to Michael in a second. Mountain Time, did you have something about this or something else? What's up, Mountain?
You guys are talking about whether or not it's okay as a Christian to celebrate Halloween.
Yep.
So I know some churches are against it and stuff. I do it for tradition, you know. I mean, I think it's just something that I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up in the 90s, and it was the best time of my life doing that Halloween. So, you know, I would be a hypocrite to stop that from, you know, other kids from doing that, you know. So, but as far as like the satanic stuff, I don't know. I think it's pretty corporate. It's far from that, you know. But you know, maybe I'm wrong. So
you know what? The funny, ironic thing is, it probably fully is satanic. Probably even more than like when the Druids actually were doing it to like deal with spirits and that stuff, because it's so corporate. And all these corporations, I think the reason many of them got to the higher echelons is something, you know, if they're the higher echelons of corporate society, they're probably doing some malevolent stuff behind the scenes, is why they're at the top of the top, which is probably more satanic than the actual people who were doing it to chase away evil spirits. Anyway, side note, but we can't prove that, so you know this falls under you know, the thing. Can you eat food offered to idols? Well, you can. It's not going to hurt you, but don't do it because you don't want to cause another brother to stumble. But if you don't know that there something bad is being offered to idols and you inadvertently eat it, you're fine because it has no power over you. Franciscus, Devin, do you have something about the Halloween thing too? I'm trying to get this topic done before we move to Michael's.
Not boring.
Huh?
Boring.
I didn't hear what you said.
No, I just said boring. I think it's a pretty boring topic, but
okay, great.
Yeah.
Michael, I mean, this is going to be a boring topic. I don't know what else to say about the no kings thing, except if there
I
were
wasn't
a king.
referring to no kings. I was just talking about Trump dressing up in a costume.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's all.
I mean, we're talking about the AI rendering, right? So I mean, he didn't really dress up. You're talking about the AI thing.
Yeah, I'm just talking. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but he posted it. You know, costumes, that thing. It was just my riff on your whole Halloween thing. That's
Oh,
that's
okay.
all it was.
Oh, okay. I thought you were tying it to the no kings because wearing a crown and stuff like, which is kind of very in our faces this weekend. But I mean, I think if we had a king, you wouldn't have seen these protests because there would have been a king and everyone would have been like in jail or executed. But because we don't have a king, we have a very duly elected president. Then the irony eludes these people, or they know it and they just don't care, which makes them worse. Michael, I can't believe you're not gonna like. I mean, maybe not dress up. I'm not gonna dress up either because I'm too old for that stuff. But I mean, you're not gonna have like a family or a friends gathering or anything for Halloween, a commemorative D&D game. Just nothing. You're just gonna stay in
No,
and
it's
Netflix
never.
and chilled.
No, it's never been a thing for It's
Well, do you hand out candy to kids or razor blades or anything?
No,
Don't do that. Don't do
that. Of course not. No, no, I mean, yeah, we will do that, but that's kind of it. Like, it's not a big deal. I don't do a lot of decorating or any of that other stuff. It's just
Do you
pretty
have a lot of
pretty
kids
low
come to
key.
your door? Like, is your neighborhood in Canada? Is Halloween a big thing in the whole country of Canada? Like, it makes it sound like no one does this.
Oh no, it is. And yeah, in our neighborhood, it is a fairly big thing. There are a lot of young kids, so we typically. I'm trying to remember last year we had something like maybe 150 kids or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about that, something like that.
Wow, we've just blown through all of our topics. Sean, do you wanna I guess revisit that again real fast? So, to not be like, I don't want it to sound like a whole bunch of opinions, but at this point it kind of is, because it's like we know there's very clear Bible verses about witchcraft and sorcery, right? So anything that is that, don't do. But about this Halloween day, which is like a very far thing from that, like no one in corporate America is or no one neighborhood trick or treating is approaching it from that way, because if they were, you'd throw out the witchcraft and sorcery verses. But because they're not, this makes it one of those things where it just doesn't apply. And so it's not like we're being like very lenient or tolerant or liberal Christians. It's like, look, we're trying to be very thorough and very strict and very sticking to the Word of God very, very closely. But for this, it's so far away from the original meaning that these verses just don't apply. So you're largely left with just your conscience and Romans 14. Yeah, do you wanna say anything else about that? Like, we're not trying to be tolerant of the world. We're saying, look, as a legit Christian, basically this is where you're stuck. Romans 14.
Okay. Now, you have, and that's talking about conscience sake.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you know on your conscience that you cannot celebrate Halloween, please don't. Otherwise, you in sin. Anything that's not of faith is sin. That's what the scriptures say.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you are convinced in your mind to go to your local church, like the Episcopals do, and like practically every church that I know of when I was growing up, and even some since I've been in ministry, they will have Hallelujah night. You go to the church, you get your cake, donuts, and hot apple cider. Your kids get their candy, and you hear a beautiful message about why we do not celebrate Halloween, because of all the satanic and history behind it of who Samhain is. Then today you say, I don't celebrate it. My family doesn't celebrate it. I teach my children why we don't celebrate it. You just don't tell a kid no and not give him a reason. That's what my dad used to do. No. And I understand no. I just know my dad said no, and so boom, 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 I didn't do it. And on occasion when I did do it, I got my behind whooped with a belt, y'all. So, but I will say it like this. Let me shorten it up like this. You have to know that if your conscience tell you no, if your spirit man is telling you no, because the scriptures are very clear about sorcery, witchcraft, and things of that ilk, necromancy, and all that other stuff. Then please, ma'am, please, sir, do not celebrate Halloween. You can go to church. You can always go fellowship with the saints, but you can't. But to celebrate a thing that you know and you know the history of it, no. Why would you? Thank you.
Yeah, and let me give let me be a little biblical here. Let me give some Bible references, just to say we did. So some of these are not going to apply. You're going to see this immediately, and if they do, be very worried about your child. Okay, so, or yourself. So the best verses you can have to try to loosely relate about this stuff is occult and sorcery. So, Deuteronomy 18. So imagine you're an ancient Israelite whose law this is. So, Deuteronomy 18:10. There shall not be found anyone among you who burns his son or daughter as an offering. Anyone who practices divination or tells fortunes or interprets omens as a sorcerer or a charmer or a medium or a necromancer, or the one who inquires of the dead. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord. I agree. If this is what you think Halloween is, do not participate. Most people are like, nah, we don't do any of that, bro. None of that. Then this doesn't apply. It just doesn't. Okay, Leviticus 19:31. Do not turn to mediums or necromancers, people seeking communication from dead people. Don't do that. Do not seek them out, and so make yourselves unclean by them. I am the Lord your God. If your Halloween looks like that, where you're speaking to dead and using using necromancy, don't do that. Ephesians 5. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but indeed expose them. If you think people are doing evil, scandalous, sinful, illegal deeds in Halloween, then expose them. Most people are going to say they're just handing out candy. I don't know if that's evil. Galatians 5:19. Now the works of the flesh are evident: sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions, envy, drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. I warn you, those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. Not only are none of these what I typically see at Halloween, I see more of these behaviors displayed in this app on Clubhouse than at Halloween. Nonetheless, if sexual morality and sensuality and idolatry and sorcery is a part of your Halloween festivals, it's wrong. Don't do it. All right. Hang on. I got a couple more, and then we're going to give the other side that people use to justify this. So then some more loosely affiliated things, like generalities. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Do not be unequally yoked with believers. What partnership has righteousness and lawlessness, or what fellowship light with darkness? What accord has Christ with the devil? So again, if your Halloween looks like this, don't do it. Romans, that's usually for like marriage. You hear that verse in marriage and like dating more than anything else. Romans 12:9. Abhor what is evil, hold fast to what is good. If Halloween is evil to you, don't do it. If candy and neighborhoods and costumes are evil, don't do it. Let's see. Philippians 8. Whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable. If there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Sure. Okay. We're going to get to the other side here in a second. 3 more, and then we'll do that. 1 Peter 1:15. But as he who called you is holy, be holy in all your conduct, so it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Don't be a gross sinner on Halloween. Let's see, Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Yes. Understand what the will of God is. If the will of God is Romans 14 says you don't go to Halloween, don't do it. Okay, James 4:4. Do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity of God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. Are you downplaying your Christianness and being friends of the world? Is Halloween the way you're going to show your allegiance to the world? If it is, don't do it. Okay, Sean, did you want to say something before I present the other side of the argument?
Nate, can I say something too before you get a chance here?
Yeah.
Well, I was looking here and it says that Halloween was just a pagan holiday originally, and they were just celebrating the fall harvest. And Christians took it up, honestly, because it was a Celtic holiday from the pagans that were just taking up, the celebration of the fall harvest. And the Christians took it up kind of as just fun. It's really not rooted in evil if you look, man. Look it up yourself. I mean,
Well,
some some Christians have, because of the faces and stuff, have said that it's evil, but apparently there was some people honoring the dead, Christians and pagans, but it wasn't satanic.
the honoring the dead's the day after it's All Saints Day, but yeah, we talked about this, I guess, before you got here. So like, it's a little deeper than the harvest moon or the whatever. It was when they thought like this time, because of, I think, what you said, the spirit veil between dead and living thinned, so evil spirits could cross over, which is why they dressed up in crazy costumes to like confuse and
Not
scare
just
away the bad
humans,
spirits.
though. Not just humans, like, as you can tell, fall, so all the leaves are changing, the plants are dying and they're changing, and so it was everything, they were signifying, not just humans, but yeah, honoring the dead, literally fall harvest, everything's got to be harvested. It's,
Right, but that's
getting
where the
where.
costumes come in.
Well, it was mostly, that was for fun, though.
I'm trying to just state this point again. Like, look up the Samhain. I already forget how to spell it. It's like SAI or HIN, whatever. But
Bring the dead, right? So
we already did this before you got here. But no, I'm telling you, they believe that the spirit veil was thin during this time of year, so spirits could cross over and mess with the living. So they specifically dressed up in costumes with scary faces and things like that to confuse the spirits and chase them away. Like that is the origin.
so it's not satanic, though.
I mean, if you're a Christian, you'll probably say dealing with spirits and costumes and like stuff like that, it's not exactly Christian. But I mean, they weren't doing it with the intent of saying "Hail Satan." But I mean, it's a lot more satanic than Christian.
I don't think it is, man, because I think that, we have a weird thing. Christians ourselves, man, we honor the dead in certain ways. Like, I don't think I think that why people say it's evil today is because of the corporate aspect of it. The scary movies and Halloween and all that crap, man. Like, literally, like, Christians have demonized this holiday, and I'm a Christian myself, dude. It's gotten ridiculous. Like, it's not a satanic holiday. It's what it's just the scary movies and the pop culture has made it that way.
Sean. Sean, did you want to say something?
I'm sorry. Actually, I was just looking up, doing a little research, and it's Samhain has the Celtic. I have looking at one thing called the Celtic roots of Halloween. I have another from the real origin story of Halloween by Eric J. Coons. So there's a lot of even the Library of Congress has something. So
Speaking of satanic, well, let me do the other side of this real fast because I didn't think that would take that long. But so this is also where you can like discern between Christians' intention, who are like, I'm using Halloween to go share the good news of Jesus. Are you? Or are you just using that to dress up and being like, well, I'm sharing the good news of Jesus if someone, is giving me candy and then totally initiates the conversation. It's like, are you a Christian? I'd totally tell them about my faith. But I'm really just using it as a not very clever way to participate in Halloween. So some people use these verses for that in kind of a shady way. But also, so here it is. So like a lot of Christians who take that approach, and then one that's just like, yeah, I'm not necessarily going to evangelize, but I'm just going to not worship the devil, just kind of participate with my neighbors. So you would have Romans 14:5 and 6, part of Romans 14 that we have been appealing to. One person esteems one day better than another, while another esteems all days alike. Each one should be convinced in their own mind. The one who observes this day observes it in honor of the Lord. I mean, again, this is more like usually when you get referencing of the Sabbath, but I guess it's kind of a stretch if you use that for Halloween. But 1 Corinthians 10, 23, all things are lawful. That was a good one that applies. All things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. So whether you eat, drink, or whatever, do it for the glory of God. Are you dressing like Spider-Man or Iron Man and getting candy for the glory of God? I mean, are you? Okay. Colossians 2:16. Therefore, let no one pass judgment on you for questions of food and drink, or with regard to a festival, or a new moon, or a Sabbath. All bases covered. These are a shadow of things to come, but the substance belongs to Christ. So maybe the bigger issue would be someone who's like really trying to judge you against this. Again, if they're judging rightly and you're like, no, I'm doing it to, have a seance. Well, then they're right, you're wrong. Don't do that. But if you're like, bro, I'm just dressing up as Marvel and my kids are getting some candy, then they may be the ones in bigger fault by trying to pass wrong judgment on you, telling you you're doing something you're not doing.
But sure, I think if someone's using that day to go to the cemetery and messing with a Ouija board or trying to resurrect the dead, then that can be considered satanic, But I think if you use that day for, but if you use it, yeah, and I know people who have done that, by the way. I mean, I think we all do. I mean, I've never thought it was a good idea to mess with that damn Ouija board or with that Ouija board or go messing around with a cemetery. That's definitely a scary thing to mess with. But I've just always used it for harmless fun. I guess when I was a teenager,
Ouija boards or Halloween? I'm just kidding.
Right? Now those things are scary. I consider those dangerous, that's for sure. So
well, let me share one more verse real fast. 1 Corinthians 9:22. I have become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some. Wait, is Paul saving some, Chris? Not God? Never mind. We'll leave that there. But the point is, yeah, if you're using this as like if you're trying to say if you're trying to say you're using this to evangelize, well, if you're going to use that verse, then go tell someone about God. Otherwise, be like, look, man, I'm not worshiping the devil. I'm getting candy. Talk to me about my dentist bill and how I'm like make an argument like that. But
lots of new people in the audience, Nate.
Does anyone have a question? Hello, new people. One time I was with a group of friends and we were having a bonfire, totally not devil bonfire, and someone's like, "Hey, I was cleaning out boxes of stuff in the garage and a Ouija board's in one of them." You're like, "What should we do?" I'm like, "Let's burn it." So they threw it on the bonfire and it like shot up these like green flames, which I'm totally just going to attribute to like, some sort of like the ink that was used or something like that. Now, if you use like metallic ink or something like, or like when you'll see iron burning in fire, it can get that like green flame. That's what I'm telling myself it was because it's probably right. But nonetheless, either someone had the foresight to build that into Ouija board ink. So they're like, guys, people are going to try to mess with everyone and burn these things. Let's freak them out when they do and make the fire turn green. So let's make sure we put like whatever the right amount of whatever it is, iron shavings or whatever causes the green flame. But nonetheless, when we threw that thing on the bonfire, it burned green.
Kind of wild. I mean, they probably did put the ink in there, but I don't know, man.
It's probably not the devil. Steph, you back yet? Has it been 7 minutes? I think it's been like 14.
Oh, yeah, I've been back this whole time.
Oh, okay.
I have all right, what's been forced upon me on Pinterest that I have no interest in whatsoever, is this show. I know nothing about this, okay, because I have not followed the whole Marvel universe outside of the comic books or whatever. There's this show called Agatha All Along. Is that right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Copper compounds. That's why it burns green. Or the devil. Okay, go ahead, Steph. I'm good now.
Agatha All Along. It's all about lesbian witches.
Yeah, I mean, for real, it does seem that way.
Good Lord.
And it's a super bummer because it's got two of my favorite actresses from Parks and Rec in it. It's got Aubrey Plaza and that other woman, I can't remember her name, is the main character. Anyway, total bummer. But I saw like an ad for it on Pinterest yesterday. I've heard nothing about this and we don't have Disney Plus, so it will literally never be in my life. But I ended up like watching this ad in absolute horror because it was just these women like performing this ritual right on TV. And then I read the synopsis of the show because I was like, there's no way that this is actually what this is. And it is. So yeah, I think this is so deeply permeated our culture that my kids saying hello to Mr. Smith across the street and getting a chocolate bar is like low on my level of concerns.
So, can you explain for people like me who have absolutely no idea what you just said? This is a show like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or this is like
No,
amped
so
up
this
where
is
it's like legit witch stuff?
it's a spin-off from the WandaVision show of a few years ago. And
Oh, like the
so,
Red Witch that no one watched because it was awful.
yeah, I mean, it was
I
like
think
the very,
Audrey Plaza.
Oh
He
wait,
looks like
so
yeah. And so
is
this is a spin-off of that show. So the antagonist, well, the antagonist in that show is really Wanda, but like
so
go
this is about her fake life she created. This is what happens inside her fake world that she created with those people.
that's WandaVision, and then this is the witch that was also manipulating Wanda all along. That's why it's called Agatha all along.
Okay,
So
okay,
Agatha was the witch. So this is a spin-off that has nothing to do with WandaVision. It's just going to be like trying to go in. So Marvel's trying to pivot into their dark universe. You know, they've got this whole thing with like witches and vampires and
right.
like Blade and all that stuff. And so, and Agatha and her lesbian witches, I'm not kidding, they are lesbian witches, are all cavorting to, mayhem.
Right. And so my question for Steph is it just like what you just said, like why is this bad? And you're like, "Oh, well because the characters are witches and it's about sorcery and they're all lesbians and that sets a bad message to our kids." Which, I mean, that is a legit reason.
No, I think they're performing
need
actual
more?
witchcraft
Right,
on TV.
that
this
was my
is not Harry Potter.
Yes, that was my
yeah.
question. So,
Okay, yeah, there you
or
go.
is it all of that and they're not just like waving their arms in the air that something no one knows. They're like, no, like if you ask someone who's a witch, they're like, oh, I totally know that incantation. It's this. Like they're like legit bringing in like real rituals.
I don't know
it.
if it's real,
I
but
think
like
that
the
actress. Are you talking about Audrey Plaza?
well,
I
she's
think
in
that
it.
I think that she's sold her soul to Hollywood, so she doesn't have a problem doing that type of acting. And she's also really one-dimensional. Like she's literally the same character on every show or movie, and almost looks like she takes OxyContin. I think that she's not a really good actress anyway, so it doesn't surprise me that she would take that role up though, because she doesn't have a problem doing that.
So
Well, I
Nate,
don't
you
think
have
any
an
of them do, but
opportunity. Devin is back, and he had waited patiently for a very long time to do whatever he wanted to do.
wait,
So
I wanted to ask
I
Devin real
talked to
quick
him.
if
He said he was bored.
Devin, do you still trick or treat? I'm just curious.
He said it's boring.
No.
I think you could get away with it though.
You think?
Yeah,
He and
100%. If
he
you
and his
showed up at
new
my
wife?
door, I would give you candy.
Aw. Wow.
Now,
I think
just
it's important to remember. I
just
just want
keep
to
in
say.
mind. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I
Michael's
just
gonna
think
say
it's
it's all
important.
fake and fairy tales.
No, I just think it's important to remember that strangers have the best candy.
That is not the official position.
Make a similar joke that remember the tale of Hansel and Gretel, Devin. So if you do show up to Steph's house and she gives you candy, just keep in mind there are always hot ovens around.
Okay, before we move on, let me button
First of
up
all, I
this
don't
stuff.
care.
The whole
This is
reason
not
I
Hansel and
was talking about that stuff is because a lot of things that go under the radar that people are oblivious to. It doesn't matter if it's fake or not true, or people think it's fake or imaginary. The fact is, a lot of people really do believe in this stuff. So you're not seeing just like things that appeal to occult stuff and witchcraft, and then just do a bunch of nonsense for the plot of the show. In a lot of these things, like concerts, you'll see people criticizing and they're like, what if it is supposed to be a ritual? It's all fake. Well, these people don't think it's fake, but the point is like historical rituals and like incantations that people have used for a long, long time, they believe in this stuff and it's creepy at best. So when you see things like TV shows or concerts of famous stars and things like that, they will have performances of live, real, recognized rituals, and that's just like an extra level of weird and gross and devilly. That was my point. So
Look, all I know is in the trailer, they're performing some kind of ritual. Like, I just watched the trailer and then I read a plot synopsis and I was like, ugh.
that was enough.
That was enough. Yeah. You know how in Harry Potter they're like, oh, the candles float and the school is beautiful and these classes are, but there's no like overt here's how to perform this ritual. Like Harry
Yeah.
Potter is so Lion Witch of the Wardrobe to me. This is not that. Like whatever this is just not that.
All right, Devin, did you have something you'd like to talk about?
I think the last thing, just
Uh,
to what Chris said, is that if you're not, like the whole, if you're not careful going to people's houses and stuff, you'll end up as Hansel and Gretel.
I couldn't get over to this tab on fast enough to unmute.
You
Devin's
know,
unmuted. Oh,
y'all know, yeah. Okay, if y'all was to come to my house, I'd give everybody except Chris's son, Reese's peanut butter, and all that. Chris, your son will get Milky Way from me. So they say Uncle Sean know about me. He gonna make sure he gonna love me still, but he gonna give me some candy out of love. But it ain't gonna be something that's gonna make him sick.
Toughen that kid up. Give him some peanut butter.
The official position of Ask a Christian is don't give people peanuts with allergies to peanuts. Let's all stay alive this holiday season.
My grandson is allergic to anything in the nut family, so.
All right, Chris, talk to Devin. I've asked him multiple times. You seem to think he has something to say, but he is not saying anything.
on this topic, I don't know. All right.
Any topic.
We don't care about this topic. So I was wondering what you thought about the GAFCON Anglican Communion breaking apart.
I don't know too much about it. I saw something, but it's interesting.
I mean, I can imagine whatever Anglican church that you are attempting to attend is going to be somewhat involved with GAFCON, right?
Is this like intentional downplay while really like the churches are like burning down? It's like, oh, I haven't really noticed.
It's not burning down.
Archie and Edith Bunker would have a problem with you right now, Chris.
What's that?
Archie and Edith Bunker. Stifle yourself there, Chris. We go to an Episcopal church. That's what we are. And we talk to the Reverend Fletcher, Felcher, whatever. Oh, Chris, how could you say such a thing?
I don't know what's happening.
Apparently you have never watched All in the Family, Nate.
No, never.
No, Sean, no, Nate's a meathead.
You're participating in works of evil in the flesh, Sean. You've joined an unholy union with Michael in this.
Seeing in my chair,
Nate,
meathead.
Did you never seriously watch All in the Family?
No.
You don't know what 704 Hauser Street is?
And you call yourself an American?
Nate. Can we talk about something that Steph and I can participate in?
Yeah, I have no idea what All in the Family is.
Can we just up the decade to at least the late 80s? I know Archie Bunker. Is that the okay? Is it? I think I know the guy more than the show. Is that the
Carol O'Connor?
No, don't know that.
Archie Bunker.
His name was Carol?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I don't know if it's
yes. His name is Carol. Carol can either be male or female, depending on.
It's like the Oh, now I gotta look this up. Is Archie Bunker the thing I'm thinking of?
The racist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So wait. So Archie Bunker is the character, but okay. So that guy, Carol, whatever, he was like a stand-up comedian stuff on his own, right? Like away from the show.
No, he was actually a veteran actor.
Yeah, he's very liberal in real life.
Right. The point is that guy. So I'm not familiar with the show, but I know that character, and I've seen some stuff from that guy. So I'm more familiar with that guy than anything about the show. Okay. Steph, give us a topic.
I had to look up what All in the Family was.
It was. There's okay. What's the best way to put it? There is no universe where All in the Family could be on the TV today. it was like it was irreverent. Yes, Archie Bunker was a terrible racist, um, and misogynist and everything else. But I mean, what you had to do is you had to look at it for what it was. Which was basically Sean. Sean, I've been of the mind that Family Guy is like a modern day All in the Family. Would you agree with
I
that?
hate Family Guy.
It's a Fox show, pretty
Yeah,
much.
but no, but would you agree with that? Like, yeah, because I think that Peter Griffin is essentially Archie Bunker.
Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if I cannot stand Family Guy because it's the stupidest thing I've seen in my life, I probably wouldn't be a fan of this show. Not to mention it's like 1,000 years old.
No, Peter
Hey. I was
Peter
a little
Griffin had
boy
a
when All the Family came out, and I
Peter
was not
Griffin
even 10.
Peter Griffin had a black friend, Cleveland Brown.
Yet, watch this. The Bunkers did have a black neighbor that they weren't necessarily friends. Well, either was friends with him. So was Mike and Gloria. But Archie, no. But
Well, Liberty is the only person I don't know down there. If you have a question about God at all, please ask. You're our only hope at this point. And is that River, by the way? Or a different name? But anyways, Liberty, if you have anything to say remotely about Christianity, please ask it now. Even Chris isn't participating in this. Even Chris can't keep up.
But Archie did baptize Joey, his grandson. But Mike, being an atheist, did not like it at all.
Oh, good. We have a question. Thank you, Liberty. How about the mind-body separation being biblical or not, Chris?
I need more context. I'm not sure what she means by that.
We'll need more context. I imagine, like, what, consciousness? Like, how can your flesh die but you continue to exist? Like, how would your spirit continue on apart from your body? And I would say in Christianity, it would be like, just look at angels, for example. We believe these are spiritual beings that already don't have necessarily a flesh and blood body. So how they exist is basically us minus the skin suit. That may be a little kind of dumbed down.
It's not a skin suit.
This was from, I'm reading from the chat. This is from the recent Jubilee video. There was a disagreement about whether you have a gendered soul or not.
Male and female, he created them.
Yeah, they're totally like, some may say, stabbing the verse in the neck to twist the scripture that says there's neither male nor female. I would say you'd have to do violence to that text to come away with non-gendered souls. That's not what that means. Why is that not what that means, Chris?
So what we're really talking about here is something called dualism. So dualism is not a concept. Dualism is a pagan concept. And so a lot of Christians adopted this concept, but it is certainly not Christian. So the biblical concept is that you are a soul-body composite, that you as a human being, you as a creature, are made up of a body and a soul. And those two work perfectly in tandem to create your identity. And so there's no such thing as non-gendered souls. That's really stupid. There's no such thing as you being you without your body. This is why in Christianity, and again, this is one of the things that makes Christianity weird. Keep Christianity weird, y'all. Is that right? Is that when all people are resurrected at the final judgment at the great white throne, you will be given a resurrection body. Now, you are then given that body to exist either in eternal life or eternal death. And so you will either spend eternity with God or you will spend eternity in the lake of fire with the devil and his angels. So those are the two destinations. You will be reunited with your body, whether it gets turned into dust or scattered to the four winds. This is the creator God we're talking about. He will reconstitute your body from the matter of the earth, even if it is put into its individual atomic components, and he will resurrect you, your body, and you and your body will live for eternity together.
It was nice to see RPG drop in to call you, Chris, only you, a polytheist demon.
Who said that?
RPG came in like 2 seconds. It's like, polytheist demons.
Yes, that guy.
But yes, so you would be male and female in heaven, yes.
So the next
Excuse me.
question is, are people with Down syndrome the same in heaven? Which I have an answer to, but right now I'm just being the reader.
Your chat's coming out quick. Like mine has a big delay. I don't even see that one yet.
That is why I'm reading.
Thank you.
One thing I did miss in my little pericope there was that you be glorified. So like, you will be the version of yourself that is without sin, or without the effects of sin. And so one of the effects of sin in the world is that people have diseases or they have other types of infirmities. And so you will no longer have any of that.
So it sounds like no is the answer, even though I still can't see the question, right, Steph?
Right. So I would say, will someone have Down syndrome in heaven or hell? Will someone have diabetes? Will someone have cancer? I mean, if we're talking about just heaven, right? Because I guess I don't know about hell. But yeah, the idea is that any brokenness is repaired. So we would consider something like Down syndrome or diabetes to be a kind of brokenness, I think. So the blind will see, the deaf will hear, all of that good stuff. But we wouldn't consider gender to be a brokenness, right? God didn't design Down syndrome, in my view. Down syndrome is a consequence of the fall of man. God did design gender, if that makes sense. And then Liberty says, wasn't maleness God's intention?
Well, no, he created them male and female. What's that verse, Chris?
Genesis 1:27.
Is that the only place? Anyways, he
specifically says that.
Okay.
Well, and God said it is not good for man to be alone in Genesis, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he specifically made woman from Adam's rib, so I mean, it was very intentional.
So if the question is there only maleness? No. I think that may have been your question, Liberty.
And let's go. I want to go back to the couple of questions on this mind body. You forgot the one thing, and I'm going to read the first Thessalonians 5:23. And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly, WHOLLY. And I pray, God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless until the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. There is the actual proper context, because there you got what the Bible says: spirit, soul, and body. So that's the makeup of
trichotomy is not a thing. Dichotomy is a thing.
Only is in Neoplatonism.
So. Or in fact, perhaps the dichotomists got it wrong all this time.
No, the Bible teaches dichotomy. There's 3 verses where people try to assert trichotomy, but that's just Neoplatonism.
So we're just gonna take that.
We're just gonna follow the Bible, Chris.
We're just gonna take that scripture out and say, "Nah, that ain't right." And then the Bible
says,
we're
going to interpret it properly, Sean.
Okay. Well, that's the proper interpretation. That's clear.
You want to trot it out.
It's clear, Chris. Chris, I don't care what about dichotomy or trichotomy. I just care about what the Bible says.
And twist it to make it trichotomous because
okay. Well, then what you gonna do with the Book of Proverbs, where it says the spirit of a man is the lap of God? What you gonna do with that?
With the what now?
Who would have thought this would be where the sparks fly? Body, soul, spirit, by the way.
Of God, and He lights the way. What you gonna do with that? It says spirit of man, not soul. It says spirit.
Sean, Spirit and soul
Hey,
are
I
used.
don't have lime.
Spirit and soul is not the same
Hey,
thing.
you don't have lime. Congratulations.
Praise be.
Spirit and soul are constantly. Look, just do a
Listen,
systematic
Chris.
theology. You're gonna
And
see this.
don't worry about this. I'm not going to argue with you about it. That's the end of it. I'm done.
Okay. So, spirit and soul are used interchangeably throughout the scripture.
Yeah, no, they're not.
For the same
No,
thing.
not, otherwise it wouldn't say that. That scripture wouldn't say separate spirit and soul and body. Otherwise,
Right,
you
because
can't
it's
get
a
into that.
literary device in this particular verse that,
Yeah,
again, we
come
can
on,
do
Chris.
the exegesis.
Stop being theological and just be biblical.
That's the same thing.
No, it's
Theology is
not.
the study of God. How do we know
Stop
God?
being
We know God
theological
through
and
the
be
Bible.
biblical. Be biblical.
Right. So
What
again,
does the
we
Bible say?
read the
What does that
scripture
scripture
in
say?
its
That scripture
context.
We
Read
obviously
it according to how
grammar.
Paul,
Let's look. What
throughout
happened to
all of
grammar?
his writings,
What happened to grammar?
Oh my goodness. So yes, this is
Okay,
part of grammar.
okay. Let's go
So,
back. Let's go back to fourth grade.
You know what? You can just have this one, man. Go ahead, be a trichotomist. It's cool. The Bible always taught that. It didn't come from Plotinus. It's fine.
All right, sounds good. Let's move on to the next question. Who would have thought that would be where the sparks fly? Would Jesus support the U.S. immigration policy? I have a feeling Jesus would say something like, give to Caesar what's Caesar's, meaning let the government figure it out. I just have a feeling it would read something like that by going off all the Bible verses that talk about kind of issues that skirt this one. So maybe something like, help those in need, be giving, be charitable, be kind, pray for them, help them, stuff like that. But as far as specifically immigration policy, like do you allow them to cross your border or not? That would probably be one Jesus would be like, whatever your government says. Because at that point, it has nothing to do with the welfare of the person. The immigration policy is specifically, can they step over our border? And if so, what are the conditions for that? Would anyone disagree with that?
I'm sorry, the nurse is giving me my morning meds, so I didn't properly hear you. Would you repeat that, please?
I don't know if I can do all that again. Would Jesus support the current or the U.S. immigration policy? Was the question. Or something about dichotomy.
Well, so this is tricky, right? Because Jesus did not address democratic republics. There we go. Jesus did not address modern democratic republics, and he says things like, the poor will always be among you. And he says things like, this is your obligation to take care of the widows, the orphans, the fatherless, so on and so forth. He says also, obey your local laws and customs and pay your taxes. So it's a tricky question to answer because Jesus very intentionally did not comment on what modern nations should do with their policy. He commented on what the individual Christian should do, right? So, for example, in my mind, if I'm looking at what Jesus would say, I'm thinking if someone showed up at my door in need of help, I would give them help. But I would also be obligated to on a national level obey laws, meaning I'm not going to vote for policies that allow or encourage the breaking of laws. So it's an interesting question. Would Jesus support the US immigration policy? I'm not sure we can answer that on the level of the government. Do you see what I mean? And then you don't think the wealthiest country in the world that Jesus would expect us to care for the world to the maximum extent possible? Aren't democracies just conglomerates of their citizens? Yes, but okay, Christ didn't talk about like massive full-scale governments. Christ didn't advise Caesar on how to do what Caesar was doing. Christ did not advise Pilate on do you see what I mean? Christ said, when you are in the nation under Caesar, here is how you should behave. So if your question was, what should Christians do about this? That might be an easier question to answer. But what would Jesus think of this? Is like, Jesus did not really, muse on governmental function that much.
I mean, the closest we have is like, whose face is on this description of the coin? He's like Caesar. He's like, give to Caesar what's Caesar. So I imagine like the closest parallel we can get is whose name is on the governing documents that regulate your border? And it will be like, oh, well, that's the Constitution. Be like, whose name? Like, we the people. Be like, you guys figure it out. So I mean, you can combine these issues, which is, yeah, like Steph said, what should you do versus welfare of the people? Immigration policy on its face is not connected to the welfare of the people. Like, you could say for like asylum and stuff like that, maybe, and like persecution and things like that. But the policy of immigration, who gets to step foot over our border, is not inherently the welfare of that person. Like Trump's, what is it, the golden ticket, where you pay like an absurd amount of money. So these are people who are not persecuted. They're insanely wealthy, yet they want to come here. So these people, well, their welfare is not a consideration. They're perfectly fine where they are, yet they still want to come here. So then how does the policy affect them setting a foot over our border? So welfare is not tied to that. However, let's see, don't you think as the wealthiest country in the world that Jesus would expect us to care for the world? Well, I mean, just because we're wealthy, would Jesus expect? Well, I mean, you could say Jesus would start by saying, hey, everyone, repent and believe the gospel. So you can have a lot of very wealthy, non-godly people and people in charge of countries and nations. So there's that. But this could already be done, right? So like you can have all of the cake all day long and eat all of it too if people would just, not be corrupt and evil and wasteful. So you could set up all the humanitarian effort, be like, great, right before you cross our border, we're going to have like, a Holiday Inns like set up. We would have so much money that we just completely waste. So first of all, it should be the church's responsibility to take care for people. However, just mathematics, like we would have so much money that we just like poop away to other countries that are used for untold evils and fraud and theft and laundering, that we could have done this times over. Built nice, safe areas just right across our border because there's a buffer zone. So in that buffer zone, build all the places for people that legit need help and welfare and stuff, and just pile it full of nutritious rice, beans, supplements. We could basically care for the entire planet with the amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that we have given and continue to just give out to everyone. So do we have enough money? Absolutely. Even for people who are like me, who are like, it's not our responsibility. It's not incumbent upon us to do this. Even people that have that idea still think it would still be so much less waste if we would have just done that. Like, even people that's like, it's not our responsibility. We need to take care of the home front first. Yes, I believe that. But if we would have done everything I just said, like basically care for the entire planet with nutritious food and stuff, we could have done that times over efficiently and hardly noticed a drop in the bucket compared to the trillions and trillions of dollars we mindlessly waste like all the time. So we could have had our cake factory and eaten it too over and over and over. So money isn't even an issue of people like me who think we are not obligated to give money to anyone. We still could have and not noticed it. Anyways, people like bombs and stealing.
Christ expects the church to behave a certain way, but Christ doesn't really make any commands over governments.
Right, and the church,
his kingdom is not as of this world.
Well, like there's a telescoping priority for all of us, right? So like husbands are to care for their wives and children. Okay, that's the first thing. Is a man who does not work does not eat. And then there is your covenant community, your church. Your covenant community is there to care for each other, not the rest of the world, not the rest of their community. It is strictly for the covenant community. It's like taking the oxygen mask and putting it on yourself first so that you can then help others if the plane is going down. So the plane has been going down a really long time, okay? And it will continue to go down. And so we take care of our families, then we take care of our covenant community. And then if that covenant community has extra bandwidth, then they can do outreaches to the community at large through, whatever that may be, soup kitchens, clothing drives, whatever else. But that is not the main priority of the church. A lot of people would think that, so like in the turn of the 20th century, there was a whole social justice movement that got started where they tried to change the main mission of the church from feeding the soul to feeding the body. And this is where the Salvation Army comes from and a whole bunch of these other organizations. And it is mission drift for the Christian church.
That's a good point, Mark. People have neglected to be part of the church family because government has stepped in as provider.
Sure. And that's destructive to the whole nation. And so our argument would be to, like the government is shut down right now, which have any of you guys noticed?
It should be like this all the time. It should have always been like this.
Yeah.
It's probably not shut down enough. I'm sure, like, essential services, I'm sure there are lots of essential services that are being funded that still probably shouldn't be. Yeah. That being said, I love our government. You guys are great. You oppress us for our own good.
Don't come to our door.
You're wonderful.
But, the idea, though, is that, we take care of our families, our extended family, our covenant community. And so that is the main support system for society. And when that falls apart, or there's a large influx of immigrants into an area or something like that, then there are, programs that, that emerge to try to help with those issues. But yeah, this is how we see it in the New Testament. This is how giving was done. It was to give sacrificially, and just have faith that God is going to take care of us. And that, Mark is right. There is a large contingent of people that would otherwise be in a church hearing the gospel, that are relying on the government for their daily bread instead of God. And I think that is a tragedy of modern society.
Hello, living. Welcome.
So don't vote for Democrats, people.
Dichotomy.
Do you want another spicy one? Christians cannot vote for Democrats.
Oh, I keep hearing 6-7. Pick your poison, Chris. That one, or Mark does not know what 6-7 is.
Oh, sweet. Mark.
Even when he does, he still won't. I still don't, but I do.
New question. Was Jonah being swallowed by a whale just an analogy, or being died and resurrected? Oh, well, it's both, right? So, like, Jesus talks about the sign of Jonah, right? So, like, the scripture, is a work of literature, and as such, there's going to be analogies that you can draw from one story to another, which the biblical authors readily do. And so when we look at Jonah was an actual event. I believe that, he did go into the belly of a great fish. He was probably dead when he went in. And then God raised... I think so. And then God raised him to life. On the shore.
Remember that video probably a month ago now I shared? And it was like the kayaker that got like ate by what was it, a humpback whale? It got ate by a whale. They're like off the coast of like I think Hawaii or something, and people were filming this guy. He was like trying to do a kayaking trick or something, and out of nowhere, like a whale just like and just eats the guy, goes underwater, and like a minute later he spits him back up and they rescue him.
Yeah, I mean there's lots of documented cases of people being swallowed by whales, like no joke.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say it's a whale. It doesn't have to be a whale, but I think that's the obvious. Like, I think there are some sharks that would be capable of doing that. But then it's like, well, is it like the angels shut the mouth of the lion, so they put rubber caps on their sharky teeth? I don't know. I mean, the most logical thing is it's a whale, or I mean, there's no reason it couldn't be some fish that was a one-off creation that looks like a whale, has the size of a whale, you'd be like, that's a whale, but it's not a whale. I mean, there's no reason. The Bible doesn't really say, but I mean, a whale of some type is kind of the obvious assumption.
Yeah. We just don't know. Like, there's no detail given as to, like, genus and species of the fish. It wouldn't have had a category like, undersea mammal. They wouldn't have had those categories.
Mark, I typed a response, but it seems like it didn't show up. My chat is buggy today. Basically, 6'7", what I understand is some tween kid is like, 6'7", talking about a really tall basketball player or something, whatever. And from like a 5-second reference, the world has been taken by storm, and now it's everywhere for absolutely no reason. That is what this means. Is that right, Chris? I about got it.
Well, they'll usually use it to respond to something that's like they don't care or it doesn't make sense. Like it's like, yo, Esther, what do you want for dinner? I don't know, 6'7", like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say 6'7", like right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Esther, how was your day at school? 6'7".
That's the dumbest thing.
Yeah. That's yeah. So Gen Z hates it now. So like, this is my kid is telling me this is, and so like Gen Alpha is using it as a wedge issue against Gen Z. They're committing generational warfare against each other.
Not like politics or like DC versus Marvel. None of that. It's some numbers.
It's just, we're gonna pick a meme and we're gonna stick to it, and we're gonna
So
show
dumb.
the oldsters, the old, Gen Zers.
Zoomers, the ancient Zoomers.
There is no way this could have been how it was when I was a kid, and my parents just seemed like, your music's awful, or I don't get that, or that's not funny. There is no way it could have been to this level of gap between me now and these kids now. Like, I refuse to believe it. The difference was not that vast. My parents should have understood my music and laughed at stupid jokes. Or was the divide really that different?
I don't know. I mean, okay, if I think about my Gen X mother, my mom would have been one of the older members of Gen X, okay? But she grew up in the 80s and got married, in the late 80s. Okay. She, like, Eminem was just a complete mystery to her. Blink 182 made no sense. She's listening to like Blink 182 being like, what is this crap, right?
They're classic rock now.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later when I feel like I want to be really depressed. So there was a gap, like, as we're running around, like, buying albums called Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. She's listening to Fleetwood Mac and just being like completely confused. So, I don't know that any of this is new. I think now, like, my kid is very communicative and forthcoming. So the only reason I even know this stuff is because she explains it all to me, which is nice. So maybe the difference in millennials is like we have interest in what our Gen Alpha kids are telling us, and my Gen X parents could not care less about what their millennial kids were telling them.
Wait,
so
I think we did the ages last week. I think we said my kid Chris is 13 is the youngest possible Gen Alpha. Is that right?
Or the oldest. They would be the youngest Z or the oldest Alpha.
So that age is either?
Like, my 3 kids are safely Alpha, and they're 3, 5, and 10.
Okay,
I'm sorry, 3, 7, and 10.
So there's nothing before 3? Like, there's not a next gen?
No, I think everyone born right now is still Alpha.
Okay, so my youngest is that, so they're Alpha, and I guess we're going to say Alpha for the other one. But okay, so I haven't heard any of them reference it, so I'm going to ask them today if I can remember. Be like, hey, what is this? What's the best way to present that to them? Should I just say 6'7" and try to make them think I'm a cool dad? And
yeah, next time they ask you a question like, yo, Dad, can I have an iPhone? Just be like, 6'7".
Oh, I've got to know now. I have a feeling like they're pretty sheltered in their school, or at least that's the lie I'm telling myself. But I think it's kind of true. Like, I don't even know.
They play Roblox.
One does. She
knows what 6'7" is.
All right, we'll find out today.
Can you just do that on mic for us?
Just
a favor.
So old right now.
What?
That just made me feel so old right now.
I feel old right now.
Because my grandsons, They, my grandsons, all they do is play Roblox, and I have no idea what Roblox is, how to play the game, nothing like that. I know it's a game, but as how to play it,
Oh.
I don't know nothing about that.
I'm not gonna lie, I play Roblox so much. So my best friend
You
and
do?
yes, my best friend and I had babies at the same time 3 times. Okay, it just sort of worked out that way. So our oldest girls are 6 weeks apart. The second kids, she had another girl, I had a boy. They're 10 days apart, and then the third are like 2 months apart, right? So okay. So the oldest girls are like bestest friends, but they live in Buffalo and we don't. So they play like daily. They have their FaceTime Roblox. So they've got the one device, or they can do it on both devices, but usually Esther will set up like FaceTime on the iPad with Izzy on it, and then she'll play Roblox. Their favorite thing is to invite me to come play. So I sit in the couch in my office. So I'm like on the screen and on the FaceTime, and then we play Roblox together. And we are so addicted to this game called 99 Nights in the Forest.
That's what my kid plays. Oh my gosh, are you the creepy adult who's trying to like solicit my child away from like the path of goodness and rightness?
No,
Is it
we
you
always
she's
play in
talking
a
to?
private server. First of all, you can only ever have 5 people in this game. And then second of all, other people try to mess it up. So me and Esther and Izzy play together in like a private server. And they just like, all you have to do is
Oh my
survive
gosh, Steph is the
99
creeper
nights.
of my child.
Shut up. Well, she could come play in our server. I don't know. But
See?
listen, I don't ever use the chat because I'm playing on a phone. So I don't have the luxury of like typing in the chat. So if anyone is luring your kid, it's not me. Okay. You just have
I
to
have chat
survive
turned
as
off, I
long
think.
as possible. And you have to like get food and you have to cut down trees. And it is so freaking hard. And the girls think it is so funny. They just try to keep me alive the whole time. Anyway, for some reason, these 10-year-old girls still really, really love it when I do this. So I am fully enjoying playing Roblox. We play this other game called Froggy, and then we play like murder mystery. I don't
99
know.
Nights in the Forest, is that what it's called?
Yeah, 99 Nights in the Forest.
So
Nate, if you learn to play that, your kids will be so impressed.
Well, my only one of them, the older one, is the one that's obsessed with like kid stuff, like not Fortnite, that's me. Obsessed with kid stuff. I don't cast stones. Anyways, but my kid is the one obsessed with Roblox. My younger one, the 11-year-old, she's like, that's stupid. I don't want to play that. That's dumb. I'm like, oh, what a nice kid. Anyways, so she has no interest in this stuff. I'm like, that should be my older daughter's attitude. Anyway, so she's like 99 Nights in the Forest. Mark, cover your ears for a minute. I may be a bad parent. So I walked in. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She's like, give me a minute. Can I have a little more time on my phone? Because we try to limit it. So I'm like, well, what? Sure. What are you doing? So I'm balanced somewhere between, I want to be reasonable, because when I was a kid, there would be times in video games where I'm like, oh, I've been working so hard for this. I want to have the sense of achievement, like, finally on the stage of Mario, let me just finish the stage of Mario, or Ninja Turtles, or Battletoads. And my parents would be like, no, now means now. I'm like, and I would lose so much like stuff. I'm like, who knows? Maybe if I would have got to play a few more levels, I'd be like a rocket scientist. Anyways, so I understand that plight, so I don't want to just be like, I could turn that off because I'm the parent. Like, I want to be reasonable. So I'm like, okay, I understand video games. And, I think it would have been nice if I would have been able to finish some levels without having to start all over because an arbitrary reason. So I'm like, well, how much time do you need? What for? She's like, Dad, I'm running around. The cultists are trying to get me. I'm like, okay. Yeah, Steph. So I'm like, the cultists are trying to get me. I'm like, on one hand, Mark, cover yours. I understand that if the Bible verse about sorcery, witchcraft, and the devil applies, don't do it. I also am familiar with lots of games will have amorphously called cultists who usually wear robes and chase people with daggers.
Yeah, it's that. There's no story in this game. It's just that.
So I'm like, I believe an innocent throwing out of, Dad, the cultists are chasing me. While my mother would be horrified if she heard that. I'm like, well, I grew up in video games. I understand it sort of just means bad guys in dresses. So that's what I'm going to say for now.
Well, they also have horns, and they, and then...
Okay, this is getting worse.
When they're dead, you have to sacrifice their bodies to the volcano to get the best weapons.
Okay, this is sounding worse.
Listen, bear with me. Yeah, you leave their bodies in a pile in the camp so that when you find the biome that has the lava in it, you run back and forth for like days to bring.
Did you say biome?
Yeah.
I'm canceling this game immediately. Like, they're digging through cultist dead bodies for the right kind of poop to sacrifice to volcano demons.
No,
That's what I'm hearing.
Wait. No, well, there is a biofuel extractor that can make poop, but that's a whole other thing. No, the desert biome, okay, the desert environment, the winter environment, the summer biome. There's like a biome that appears randomly that has a volcano in it, and so you have to take your collected cultist bodies and put them in the volcano. This has not occurred to me as being bad until
unsubscribe.
Right now.
Just stop. Everyone, stop watching Ask a Christian. We are not qualified.
Listen,
Everyone, just unsubscribe right now.
That's how you get something called the Infernal Sword, so that when you kill the bunny rabbits, they're automatically cooked and you can eat them.
This is not real.
This is real.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. Okay, listen. This is a secret. I only found this out.
Will you text me this in Discord so I can sound like I know what I'm talking about to my kid?
Yeah, you got it. I could translate this anytime. Okay, but here's the reason why, with all of my conservatism, I'm not real concerned about this as a Christian. There is no story. There is no context. There is no symbolism. Some freaking 15-year-old made this game and then it took off. And now that 15-year-old is like, they're like, oh, what sounds like sinister? Cultists. There's no like, oh, you sacrifice it as a ritual. It's just a bunch of like silly, like, did you ever play Castlevania, Nate?
Yes.
Okay, you know how in Castlevania there's the undead and the holy water and you're like a crusader? It's not even as much as that. Like, it is literally just labels. There's no story to this game. The idea is to survive as long as you possibly can in the forest while random things try to kill you. Like, there's a deer that walks up on its hind legs and it runs faster than you, and if you... Yeah, it's just a bunch of, like, abstract nonsense.
Okay, so... Should kids play Roblox? You will not find a Christian answer here, apparently. So I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Steph. I mean, it sounds way more sketchy now than it did. I'm like, some cultists running around. Meanwhile, my mother is like, what's that game your daughter plays? And she's like sharing me articles like why Christians should not let their kids play Roblox, which I was always vehemently against until I guess I got worn down over time. And we try to like supervise it and chat and stuff like that. But I don't know. Can you
wait
throw
a minute.
Romans 14 at this one, or
no? Okay, we're being way too broad.
The infernal sword and cultists and dead bodies.
Roblox has like thousands of games on it. Okay, like they're called experiences.
Judge everything in light of this game.
Well, you can't. Okay, do you know there's this?
My kid only plays this game.
There's this YouTube apologist who does like YouTube videos for Gen Z and Gen Alpha that are like, he's a Christian. I guess he's kind of doing what you're doing, like God in games kind of thing, right? But anyway, he has a Roblox church, and like he designed an entire world, and it's all very pretty, and there's like a cathedral and a park outside, and the idea is that you go and interact, but the idea is that this is... Now, they're not saying it replaces church, but it's like you can play Roblox and meet other Christians in this experience. So it's everything possible. It's like, is Discord evil? Well, we can't say if Discord is evil because there's thousands and thousands of Discord servers.
Probably evil, especially ours.
So like my kid and I are also obsessed with Adopt Me, right? Well, she's kind of moved on from that one, but with Adopt Me, it's like, you know, you have little pets and you trade them to other people, and it's like you collect Pokemon and you level them up, and there is absolutely zero sinister things in that game. So we have a filter on. So any games that are rated for 13 and up, she cannot access at all.
What's 99 Nights rated?
I think it's like 10 and up.
To pile cultist dead bodies and feed them to a volcano. Sweet.
So, okay, remember, we're talking about pixels here. Like, there's no blood. The worst thing in that game is the word cultist. Like, I don't know how to explain this.
I mean,
but
see, this is where I'm torn, because when you say this, I'm like, well, on one hand, I'm pretty sure that the Christian answer is no to all of it, but that's like a catch-all. Is that being too heavy-handed? Because you have to, drink water. You have to breathe. You can't just sit in a corner and say, I will only pray and read the Bible. Like, I mean, maybe someone can. I mean, that sounds like a very holy answer, but at some point, you have to walk outside and see people, or I guess use a phone. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm too liberal Christian. Chris can tell me in a minute. But on the other hand, I'm like, well, and there's a long way between breathing air and killing cultists. But I mean, are they killing them in the name of our Lord? Does that make it better? But I remember my World of Warcraft days, which were not so long ago, where I went to the Unholy Citadel and had to fight the Demon Overlord, and then I went to the Scarlet Crusade Citadel, which had nice stained glass windows, but you turned out that they were in service of who was the bad guy in World of Warcraft? Oh my gosh, I forgot the main guy. Anyways, the point is, the head priest guy turns into a monster, and you had to fight him, and then you got transported to space. So I'm not immune to understanding religious clergy can be bad and in video games represented in certain ways, but I'm probably just giving way too much of my experiences.
I don't see a huge. I mean, the Roblox is like it's actually very creative. Like my daughter plays this thing called Clip It, which is just a bunch of cringe crap, but it's video editing. So they can use their little character and they're learning video editing, and it's actually incredibly complicated. Like when I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I had a college.
That's who it is. Gul'dan.
Okay. Good job, Nate.
Thank you.
I had a college class in video editing, and my kid knows enough to take that college class now. Like she knows way more than I did at the, and so there's that. And then there's another one where they can make music, and it's got a very basic, audio engineering platform. So I don't hate Roblox because it's actually got a lot of cool stuff in it, and kids can also develop their own games that can go viral. So that part of it is neat. You just have to, like anything else, be aware of who they're talking to and what they're doing in there.
Do you know what? Since you say that, my child has somehow become a little bit of a YouTube thing. She has taken what I call the stupidest videos I've seen in my life. It'll be a little pixelated Roblox person dancing back, yay, yay, dance with me, yay, yay, yay. And it just like jumps up and down and spins around. And she gets I think she got over 1 million views. I'm like,
yep.
I'm like, why? Why? Like, I'm talking about Jesus, trying to tell Jesus to these demons, and 5 people watch me. I'm like, should I just do that? Should I just jump up and down and pixelate myself and be like, yay, yay, yay? And then I'd be popular too. But anyway, so she has this YouTube channel.
You're welcome up here, just so you know.
Oh yeah, please. My stuff's lagging. You've got a mod. I don't see any new person. Anyways, so she does these stupidest videos, and if you're watching this, Daddy's proud of you. You're great. She'll never watch this. Sometimes they do to fall asleep. They're like, Dad, your videos, I hear your voice and I fall asleep. I'm like, is that good, or should I be happy or sad? Anyways, so she does this stuff, but as a result, she does these editing. She does these editing things. So she does these editing apps, and I'm like, it's teaching real skills. So I'm somewhere between go further, learn video editing. Even if it's the most dumb brain rot I've ever seen, you're learning legit skills on copying, splicing, editing. So this can help you in life. And now she's in youth group, and at her church. And they're asking them if they want to learn to serve and stuff like that. They have a photography group and the people that do the production and the lights. And I'm like, dude, you could totally make their flyers or do video editing or editing their stuff using your skills from apparently slaying cultist video clips, and you can use those to put together some cool video clips for Jesus. So I don't know. I'm caught between, is this using a ridiculous game for something that can legitimately be beneficial? I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, when I was spending hundreds of hours literally on Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy, I learned absolutely no useful life skills, and I still have no regrets. So if my kid so what your daughter is doing is she's making videos and Clip It and then exporting them to YouTube. And so you have control, you film a character doing something, and then you can add filters and music, and then you have to time the music with the video, and it's actual. Right. Yeah, okay, so that's just through Clip It. So
apparently she uses something cap. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, but it's in Roblox or no?
No, I think it's a standalone app.
Oh, okay, interesting. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I did not learn one single life skill from playing Legend of Zelda for easily 400 hours of my childhood.
You learned to look carefully before you walk around hedges.
Well, that's true, and I did learn not to mess with chickens, and I guess things like that, right? But it's just my kid is learning video editing, and when I look at it, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Is?
A what?
Orcana?
Ocarina?
Ocarina. I almost said that. Why did I say Orkana?
My kid
It's
has
Sam
an ocarina.
Hain.
You learned what that is. I just learned how to pronounce it. Ocarina.
I think it's either ocarina or ocarina, but we have one. And then my daughter bought it at the Renaissance Festival, and now she plays it, and it's very cute, and I'm very proud.
Took your kids to the Renaissance Festival?
It probably
I
has
didn't. My
demons in it.
parents did. Yeah.
Did you guys dress up?
They did. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I didn't go because we didn't want Peter to get kidnapped by like a transgender fairy, which would have happened 100% chance.
I think we're done with the Ren Fair this time.
Have Renaissance fairs turned into?
I'm in New York.
Well, it's there's also though, I mean, there's only so many events like these in a year. So anytime there's an event like this, you get some, you everyone that wants to take part in this in any way comes, even if it's not necessarily congruent with the theme. So you'll get people wearing like I don't know, like Steph said. So you'll get people that don't exactly blend with the theme, but it's like close enough. Maybe you'll get someone wearing like a Star Trek uniform, and they're like on an alien world, like investigating in their Starfleet Academy uniform. Anyways,
yeah, the one in Sterling, New York is more like every man is there wearing mesh and skirts and has long purple hair. And every woman just has her boobs all over the place. And it is a little like when Esther came home, she actually went with my brother and my parents. The baby was sick, so we just ended up staying home with the baby. But she went with my brother and my parents, and they all Esther came home with a lot of questions about things. And we had to have whole conversations about like why boys would wear skirts and have makeup on. Nowhere is safe. Anyway, I find Roblox to be not a bad thing if you just
how do you spend so much time on Roblox and Clubhouse?
Do you know where is safe for Renaissance festivals? Oh, the great state of Florida. We don't have any of that nonsense here.
No, we do.
If I were to take, oh, really?
Yeah, we do.
What?
Just what I was saying.
In Winter Park.
This is from my own experience. Yeah, because there's only so many people. So a lot of people who gravitate towards this type of stuff, you will see as like Dungeons and Dragons characters, and you will see different. Like there's always furries, always. That's not exactly Renaissance, but you will see them because there's only so many places you can go to dress up. Like, so you're gonna get people.
So if there were a rabbit furry at a Renaissance fair, and I'm totally in character,
sacrifice it to a volcano.
Would I be able to hunt it? And would I be able to grab a pack of dogs, people that are dressed as dogs, I suppose, as furries, to hunt the rabbit furry down?
I mean, they'd probably play along, but don't hurt anybody.
Yeah, don't like legit.
Well, wait, are furries actually people? Costumes?
In their fursona, when like ex cathedra, when they're in their fursona.
When they're in their fursona, they're not actually people. We can just eat them as rabbits, right?
I'm going to say
I don't like where this is going.
A jury of your peers would probably disagree, so don't do that.
Dang it. Okay. Well, I mean, I just didn't know how real they took it, man.
I don't want to be the one to cast
ontological change that occurred.
I don't want to be too judgy, but I also want to say the official position is don't commit crimes of Ask a Christian.
Well, yeah, don't eat people. I mean, if they're actually, are they people? I'm just saying, like, I didn't know how far this
just think, like, what would Jesus do? Well, yes, what would Jesus do? But also, what would a jury of my peers do?
What would Jesus do? Jesus would see a group of furries and go after them with a whip. That's what Jesus would do.
I don't know if that's true. I would argue that prostitutes are worse than furries, and he didn't run around whipping prostitutes. So, just gonna put that out there.
Are prostitutes worse than furries?
Yes.
They're not mutually exclusive.
I mean, there are also furry prostitutes, but as we have learned recently,
how do you know that?
Well, because that's a huge part of that culture, right? Is like the what's the word I'm looking for that I don't ever use? The fetish. Okay. There's that part of it, but there's also a lot of people who are just like in their 20s and doing costume design and kind of what I see as childish imaginative play, and it's not sexual. So I don't imagine Jesus would just automatically whip a furry. That's crazy.
What would Jesus do if he saw Chris?
He would definitely clear out the Renaissance Fair though. At least the one in New York.
Oh,
yeah.
just pillars of salt, everyone. I don't know. We'll see
And
in a
I'll
few
be
days.
at the entrance like, Lord, if there are
maybe
even
the furries would be the last straw.
if there are even 10 good people in the Renaissance Festival, please don't smite it. Okay, what about 5 good people? Even one good person? There's just none. Absolutely
I'm
zero.
imagining that. That's way too fun. I'm just imagining like,
Completely.
just imagining the clientele running in like mid-step salt. Oh my gosh.
A little plastic.
So Chris, I know what you're
When I
gonna
was
say.
a
Your
kid.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I feel like it wasn't like this, but now on Amazon they're selling these like things that you can hike your dress up with. It's like a strap of leather that goes on a belt and it makes like a you would wear multiple skirts and then it hooks under the skirts so they're all lifted up, right? I don't know what you call this garment. And like all the women at the Renaissance Festival this year had that. Just
What's
like
the purpose?
well, I think in the actual Renaissance it would like signify some kind of prostitution because it's revealing the leg, but it would also be so that you could grab a weapon or something. So you see like gypsies have this on their garments so that they can get under their skirt.
So you grab it and like it helps you pull it up faster?
Well, no, it's lifting the skirt up. So if you're wearing, I tried to invite Mark, but it didn't work. If you're wearing, oh, okay, he got it. If you're wearing like 2 or 3 skirts, it's a band of leather that clips to the inside of the belt and the outside of the belt, and it's a loop, and so it creates a kind of bustle, but really, really, really high up on the leg. So the woman is still technically wearing a skirt, but now her leg is exposed. So I've seen this garment in like historical documents, and I don't know actually what it was for, but now it's just for looking skanky at modern Renaissance festivals. And like all of them were wearing it.
Or
Mark,
they could probably like when they're feeding the pigs, they probably need to hike their skirt up out of the mud.
Oh,
Something
right,
along those
yeah.
lines? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, because all it's doing is it's moving the skirt up out of the way and exposing the leg. But now it's just
I'm guessing while they're feeding the pigs, or milking the cows, or
did you guys see that meme I sent you? I don't know if it was real, but I'm going to tell myself it is because it's hilarious. Of the sign posted, like the city ordinance or whatever, that said like men wearing kilts over 25 miles an hour must wear something under them. Hey Mark, what's up?
Mark, how many kilts do you own?
Yeah, I was
6, 7.
I started this with that 6-7 question, but then you went to Roblox, and then you went to the Renaissance Festival. But actually, I wanted to go back to something you said, Nate, about because it's something I learned a while ago with my kids about how your daughter asked for a few more minutes to finish a round or whatever. So that's a good principle for parenting because the Bible says, "Provoke not your children to wrath." Of course, that comes right after the verse about children obey your parents. So, we taught our kids, obedience is doing exactly what you're told right away with a good attitude. All right. So here I say, John, take out the trash, please. So he's supposed to do exactly what he's told right away with a good attitude. But I don't realize that there's 20 seconds left in the basketball game and the other team has one more chance to score and win the game. And he's been watching this game for an hour and a half. And I don't know what's going on with him, right? So we got some advice from a parenting class that said a good thing to do is to come up with a phrase that your child can use where when they use that phrase, they know you want them to obey, but you need, as a parent, if you had some more information, you may change your mind. And so the phrase was, "May I appeal?" So no kids talk like that. So when they say, "May I appeal," as a parent, you know right away, okay, my kid thinks I need some more information about the thing I just asked them to do. And man, this worked great for us. I mean, my wife would, say, hey, come here and do this, and they'd come and they do it. Or they'd say, may I appeal? And if it was urgent, my wife or I could say, no, you may not, just come. But a lot of times we'd say, yeah. And then they would tell us more information, like it's the last shot of the game or whatever. Now, if they appeal and there's no more information, then they get in trouble because they're abusing that, right? But this really helped, I think, to not provoke your kids to wrath. What do you think of that?
I think that is a great idea, and I I don't know if I'm going to implement it exactly that way with the may I appeal, or I may. I mean, I mean that may be provoking me to wrath, but if I do say that word that way, I'm gonna make them say it in like the accent that should accompany that. That is an excellent idea,
The
Mike.
medieval well, it could be a different word,
May
but
I appeal?
it could be a different word, but it's just something that is your special thing between you and your kids where they
I
know
like
you
may
want
I
them to
appeal.
obey and they also think you need some more information.
May I appeal, Faja?
Well, and this really helped parenting too, because sometimes I'd be thinking, I really need my son to help me with this right now. And so I'd walk through the living room and I'd check, oh, it's only the second quarter and it's a blowout. So, hey, come help me with this, right? But otherwise, I walk through and I say, oh, it's a close game. So I say, hey, I want to watch the end of this game with you and then we're going to go do this. And it's a great parenting ploy there.
Living says it must be done with an accent. I agree. Steph, are you good? Are we going to implement this on our children? I will if
Oh
you will.
yeah, as soon as he said it, I immediately
With the accent.
decided that was going to be a thing. Yeah, may I appeal is going to be a whole entire thing
May
now.
I appeal?
I appeal, mother, for slightly more porridge. Yep. No, I think that's a really good idea though, because who was it? Sean was saying before that like when his dad said no, it was just a no, and that was it. And I get that, like there are times where a no is just a no, but I actually as a child remember being really frustrated by not understanding why everything was a no. And it's not that you're your kid's friend, it's not that you owe them an explanation, but it does certainly help, I think, to be able to say, look, I gave you the warning 15 minutes ago. It's time to get off now. And well, can I appeal for this reason? Yeah, there are certainly times, exactly as you said earlier, Nate, where I'm like, all right, well, you're on the 50th day of 99 nights in the forest and your health is really low. You can just finish it. That kind of thing is reasonable enough, I think. So yeah, I like this.
Yeah, and I don't see it as like me giving in as a parent. I see this as like this is what I want. So like what I want is my kid to obey, sure. But also what I want is that scenario. Like I want it to go that way because I love my kid. I don't want to unnecessarily be a jerk. So it's like, well, you need 2 more minutes to finish your level. Like going back to my childhood, I'm like, yeah, I get that. That makes sense. So it's not like I'm giving in to them. Like, oh, I really want you to do this now. Like, no, I'm conceding something. It's like, no, this is the answer I want. This is the number one answer. If this is truly one of those circumstances where it's like, oh, you need 2 minutes? Okay, yeah, I just need you to change the dishes sometime today. So, in my head, so sure, 2 minutes, sure, and then do what I ask. Like that is my number one preferred answer. That is what I want to happen. I just needed more information to be like, oh, you're in an important stage? Great. I think this can somehow help you complete something or teach you more skills or teach you what it's like to win things instead of just get halfway done and be like, no, stop. So like I want you to do this. So sure. And then if they abuse it, yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's a way to apply Ephesians 6:4 and not provoke your children to wrath. Now, another concept I was going to bring out from the talk was one good principle for video games and for a lot of other things as well is 1 Corinthians, where it says, all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful, but I will not be brought under the power of any. And a lot of time, when we were kids, it was TV that would bring us under its power. Now I think a lot of times it could be video games. So I think we have to be cautious for ourselves and for our kids that these things are not controlling us.
Agree. Steph, what's your PTR before I have to run? It's too small. I can't read it.
Oh, that was that's what skirt hikes were for. So Chris was right. A skirt hike was for any time. That's what it's called, the garment, a skirt hike. So it's a piece of leather that has like 2 round buckles at the end that you would pull the fabric of the skirt through to lift it, and you'd have it either on one side or both. So it said, Chris was right, a skirt hike is for any time you don't want your hem of your skirt on the ground. So during farm work or horse riding or bicycle riding, it's just a nice piece of leather on a belt that you could just use to pull the skirt up out of the way. But then later, much after like the Renaissance era, the skirt hike became a symbol of fashion for upper class women. So they would have a patterned skirt below and then like a satin skirt on top, and they would hike the satin skirt to reveal the patterned skirt underneath. But then it also became like women would do that without a skirt underneath, and that was very skanky and scandalous. But interestingly, skirt hikes were also used for wheelchair users in the 1900 in the 18 and 1900s. There you go.
I like the idea of using it for access to weapons.
Steph, did you say Chris is right?
Sometimes, once in a while, Chris is
About
correct.
medieval knowledge.
Are the replays on?
No,
Yes, they are.
Gonna delete them later.
It will live on YouTube until I implode it later.
This is one of the few times that Steph and Chris will agree on anything.
We do
Or torturing
agree
me.
sometimes. Yeah, like when Nate is really
Yeah,
wrong,
like a
Chris and I
broken
will
clock.
unite. Yeah.
Like a broken clock.
Hey,
All right.
at least they're back in the same room and on the same stage together, because that was a drag a while back.
That was a minor miracle right there.
Yes.
Yo, it's been like 8 months that we've been back in the.
Okay, everyone. I have to be obedient to my parents who are visiting this week, and we all like to eat lunch very early. Look at your times right now and think, are you seriously about to eat lunch now? Yes.
Nate, it is 10:22 where you are.
So you didn't eat breakfast?
No, I ate breakfast. Well, no, by the time... Okay, here's my morning routine. I wake up, I eat breakfast. It's a protein shake about 7-ish a.m. And then about 10:30, if I'm eating at home, about 10:30 is when I get off here and go eat something. My parents are visiting this week, so now I'm gonna get off here. And by the time we get around, leave, and like get to the restaurant, we promptly like to be the first ones in the door because most restaurants open at 11. That is when we like to walk in the door. And if they are not open by like 11:00, our day is ruined and we are mad and we're like swear vengeance upon them. Like, we're never going back here again.
So here's a pro tip. Take cash because there is a major Amazon Web Services outage today, and lots and lots and lots and lots of credit card processors are offline today. So if you do want to eat out, bring cash because...
Or free lunch.
Yeah, no, that's not how restaurants work. They're just going to be like, sorry, we're cash only today. And then Nate's going to have to get mad and go to the ATM. I'm trying to prevent you from losing your temper with the restaurant who, by no fault of their own, is having an outage.
Hey, that made me think, the Cloudflare, is that like the main security thing that lots of things run on?
Cloudflare is a DNS service, but sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was called Cloudflare. Is that not a thing? It's Cloudflare?
Flare.
So is there no Cloudflare? I'm sure someone has it, right?
I'm sure someone does something with it. I don't know what it is. So, but pro tip for everybody today, mate. This is why I've been on the phone so much. I'm getting calls from all my clients, and they're like, "Oh,
so
hey,
you're about to
our
make some money.
Stuff isn't working." No, I can't make any money. What am I gonna do? There's nothing I can do about this. So like,
just tell them to wait.
Just tell them like, hey, sorry, there's a major outage all across the United States. Everyone is running around like a panicked chicken.
Did you research this? Wait, what's the outage with? Like the company or whatever? Like
Amazon.
I don't even understand. So if someone pays with a Visa, that runs through Amazon stuff?
Yeah, so Amazon is the largest cloud provider, and lots of software that runs the middleware layers that have POS systems that talk to credit card providers runs in the Amazon cloud. And when that is down, then you've got major problems.
Wow. Dude, yeah. Their down detector?
Yeah.
Wow.
Down detector is lit up like a Christmas tree right now, isn't it?
What? Huge global outrage impacts Amazon, Fortnite. This is how it ends.
Now he's mad.
This
Not
is
about
how it
lunch
ends.
with his parents.
This is how the world ends.
This is the tragedy.
Our time has come. The day of our Lord is at hand.
That's why my clubhouse was glitching.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so
All right.
Clubhouse, there's a lot of Clubhouse that's run on Amazon. Yeah.
Oh. Hey, JP, good to see you, but now I'm running away. David, good to see you guys too. Philip, always. Living, Greg. Well, I guess let's go see if I can eat lunch.
I mean, you can bring cash. It's not the apocalypse.
What is this
You don't have to
thing?
take
What
out
is
your little
cash?
globe. You don't have to take out your gold chiclets that you got for, when the apocalypse comes and you have to trade gold.
I need to go get some silver out and melt it down into coins.
Yeah, no, you don't need to do any of that. You can just go to the freaking ATM if it's working and grab some cash.
Yeah, isn't that kind of the problem? Okay, anyways, I gotta run. That's thank you for that valuable information.
If the ATM isn't working, just get under your mattress, Nate.
I will try to find this thing called cash you speak of. I'm sure my parents have it. Anyways, guys, good talk. We covered the gambit. We'll see you tomorrow. Go in peace, everyone. Every one of you, go in peace.
Bye.
Well, I guess take cash. I guess it doesn't matter now. By the time you hear this, it'll probably be fixed. Or it really, really won't be. And then that won't be the biggest of our worries. Okay, everyone, do good things. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys later.